Good morning, students. Hope you all have followed my previous class and you all have gone through the study material as well. So we were in the classification of or in the types of clauses. In our previous class we have come to know about types of clauses, that is main clause and subordinate clause. We have come to know about their formation, about some details. Now today we will come to know about the types of subordinate clauses. Though I had mentioned in my previous class that there can be three types of subordinate clauses, that is noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause, right? So here today we will come to know we will learn more about noun clauses. So let us focus on the screen. There you will find two sentences. First one, she expects a prize. Okay, first sentence says she expects a prize. Now she is the subject of the sentence, expects verb, that is article, and prize, that is object. Okay, so subject, verb, object we will find on the first sentence, whereas the word prize is noun in itself. Now focus on the next sentence. She expects that she will get a prize. Now here we will find she expects. Okay, she can expect anything, that is main clause. Now that she will get a prize, that she will get a prize, this part depends on the first part, she expects. So that she will get a prize, this is subordinate clause. Now which type? In subordinate clause it can be considered in which type? Now let us focus. She expects that she will get a prize. Now that she will get a prize, this particular subordinate part, it works as an object to the verb expects. So here it serves the noun prize and it as well as it serves the verb expects. So here it functions as noun clause as it does the work of noun here. Okay. In the first sentence we found subject, verb, object, where object was noun itself. Now on the second sentence, the same sentence only, it is elaborated and we have compiled over here a subordinate clause along with the main clause, and the subordinate part serves as noun. So this is an example of noun clause. Now you will come to know more about noun clause if you all focus on the sentence itself. Now see, a very easy way to understand noun clause is, you will how to understand a noun. Tell me, if we ask the sentence a question with the word, with any WH word, especially what. Okay, if you ask the sentence with the word what, whatever the answer will come, if it sounds noun, then it will be noun clause. Like this, she expects a prize. If we ask the same sentence a question like what does she expect? Okay, if we ask what does she expect, the answer comes that she will get a prize. So here obviously this is noun clause. Now noun clause can be easily identified with the means if we follow the sentence, we will find that there will be certain conjunctions and WH words like that, if, whether, what, okay, or WH words or interrogatives like what, why, where, when, how, whom. Understood? Now some more examples are there. I don't know what this pudding is made of. Okay, Geeta said that she would shift to Chennai. Here also, and on the first sentence, I don't know what this pudding is made of. So what this pudding is made of is not known by me. So I don't know, it's the word don't know is the verb, and what this pudding is made of is the object of the verb, and that is not known by me. So it is the object of the verb and thus it serves the purpose of a noun in the sentence. So it's a noun clause, example of a noun clause. Next one, Geeta said that she would shift to Chennai. Now again, if we ask the sentence with the word, if we ask what did Geeta say? The answer will be that she would shift to Chennai. Now, that she would shift to Chennai serves as an object to the verb said. Likewise, please teach me how to drive a car. Okay, if we how to drive a car, this particular part serves as an object to the verb teach. So this is an example of a noun clause. Now, noun clause can function in various roles. So here is a chart. Please follow the chart. For first function, the subject of a verb. Whatever examples we have come across so far, that these examples, everywhere we found that it serves as an object. It can serve as the subject of a verb as well. That means in that case the sentence will start with a subordinate clause. It will definitely start with a subordinate part. See, what he says seems true. Okay, what he says seems true. Here the verb is seems, linking verb, seems true. What seems true? Oh, that what he says. What he says seems true. Now what he says, this part acts as the subject of the verb, rather linking verb seems. That's why here it serves as the subject of a verb. Understood? Next sentence, that you would compromise shocked me. Let us identify the verb, that is shocked, and that you would compromise. That you would compromise, this part is the subject. So here also we find that this is a subject of a verb, thus functions as a noun clause. Where they are going is unknown. Now what is unknown? Where they are going. So where they are going is the subject of the verb is. Okay, thus this is an example of a noun clause. Now let us focus on the next function, that is the object of a verb. We have started our class with this particular function, the object of a verb. She expects that she will get a prize. Likewise, I know that Lina bought a new car. Okay, I know, no, I is the subject, know is the verb. Now what do I know? That Lina bought a new car. So the object of the verb know is that Lina bought a new car. Understood? Next one. He can't remember where he left his keys. He can't remember. He can't remember. Now, here also where he left his keys is the object of the verb remember. That's why this is also an example of a noun clause. Next one. She asked him how tall he was. She asked him again how tall he was. How tall he was is the subordinate part, and this part serves as an object to the verb asked. So it is an example of a noun clause. Now whatever example we have come across so far, we will definitely find everywhere one common factor, that is either it has conjunction or WH word in the subordinate part, and it serves either as a subject of the sentence or an object of the sentence. Now let us come to the next function, that is the object of a preposition. The object of a preposition. So there must be a preposition, and after the preposition we will definitely get a WH word, okay, or a WH word or a conjunction, and that will serve as an object of that particular preposition. So let us see. Don't judge her by how she looks. Now whenever you will get a sentence where you need to identify noun clause, if you have to identify the function, then you need to focus whether there is any preposition or not. So if you get the sentence, don't judge her by how she looks, is there any preposition? Yes. Which one? That is by. Now after by, is there any WH word or any interrogative word? That is yes, that is also yes, and the word is how. So obviously don't judge her by how she looks. See, by how she looks is the object of the preposition by. Okay. That is why we can consider this particular part as noun clause in the sentence. Next one, I can rely on what he says. Again, we need to identify the preposition first, that is on. Then after the preposition, is there any WH word? Yes, that is what. Now I can rely on what he says. What he says is the object of the preposition on. So here also this is a case noun of, this is there, here also we can find that this subordinate part is noun clause. Now next one, she knows about what you did last summer. Again we need to identify the preposition, that is about, and after the about we find an interrogative word, that is what, and what you did last summer, that is subordinate clause, and subordinate clause serves as an object of the preposition about. That is why it can be this subordinate part we can classify or we can consider it as noun clause. Okay. Now let us come to a different function, that is a subject complement used after a linking verb. In the first sentence here also we found a linking verb, seems. Let us see. Here the fact is that he does not know the answer. The fact is that. Now that he does not know the answer is the subordinate part. Now before that we find is, that is be verb. Be verb comes under linking verbs. So this, the fact is that, here the subject is obviously fact, and that he does not know the answer, this part tells us more about the subject, that is the fact. So here it serves as a subject complement, it is used after a linking verb. Now next sentence, his greatest fear is that he may not be successful. That he may not be successful is the subordinate clause. Okay. Now his greatest fear. Fear is the subject over here. His greatest fear is the verb, linking verb, be verb, that means linking verb here. So here that he may not be successful, this part tells us more about the subject fear, means what is his greatest fear? The fear is that he may not be successful. So this part obviously tells us more about the subject fear. So this is also a noun clause. Now next one, her wish is that she becomes an actress. So let us identify subordinate clause, that she becomes an actress. Okay. Before that we find linking verb. Be verb means it comes under linking verb. Now her wish. Wish is the subject over here. So what is her subject? That is that she becomes an actress. That is her wish. So this is also serves as subject complement, which is used after a linking verb. Understood? Now let us come to the last function, that is an element in apposition to a noun or a pronoun. Now what is apposition? What is apposition? When a noun follows a noun or pronoun, then the second noun is said to be in apposition to the first one. Okay. Then why? Means a noun follows a noun or pronoun in order to specify, in order to exaggerate, or in order to put stress over the first one, right? Now see, let us see the example. You must always remember this, then comma, that hard work always pays. Now let us find out subordinate clause. You must always remember this. Up to this the sentence is complete. That hard work always pays. The very word that, only because of this particular word that, this sentence becomes subordinate part. Okay. Now here we find you must always remember this. This means a certain fact. And what is that fact? That hard work always pays. Now here this particular word is pronoun, and after this word this, that is used. That means that is in opposition to the first word this. Understood? I told when a noun follows another noun or pronoun to describe it, the second noun is said to be in apposition. Now you must always remember this. This means a certain fact that hard work always pays. Now this particular word that is used to specify that hard work always pays, and that is the fact which we always remember. So this is in opposition to the pronoun this, and this is why we can consider it an example of a noun clause. Now next one, do you still believe that lie, comma, that it was Shumesh who stole the money? Now what is the lie? That Shumesh stole the money. Now do you still believe that lie? Up to this much sentence complete, that it was Shumesh who stole the money. This is subordinate part. Now after the noun lie, that is used in apposition in order to make us understand, in order to provide us a detail regarding what regarding that whether we believe that Shumesh who stole the whether Shumesh stole the money. Okay, now with the noun lie, we find in apposition this particular word, that it this particular part, that it was Shumesh who stole the money. This particular part worked as in apposition to the noun lie. Understood? After the comma. So whenever you will find apposition, there must be a comma between those two words. Either it will be a noun or pronoun, and it will be followed by the same. Now next one, Suresh had the same opinion, comma, that we must quit the club. Now opinion is equal to we must quit the club. Okay, whatever is the opinion is equal to we must quit the club, and that is used in to put stress on the opinion fact, and that's why it serves in apposition. Okay, in apposition to the noun opinion. Understood? I hope you all have understood. Now you all have heard the discussion over here. Now I would like all of you to go through the study material which is provided in PDF form. Okay, now you all go through the study material provided by me. Then you will find a worksheet. Do that worksheet and then come back. I will be discussing the worksheet on that after you complete your work. Okay, now let's I request all of you to go through the PDF file and to do the worksheet, and you must do that, and when you will come back we will discuss the worksheet. Okay, carry on.